Chapter 11. How King Perion and Queen Elsena knew the Child of the Sea to be their son Amadis. It so happened that as he was one day walking in the hall with the damsel, young Melicia, King Perion's daughter, passed by him weeping. He asked her why she wept, and she told him for a ring which her father had given to her to keep while he slept, and which she had lost. "I will give you another as good," said the child, and he gave her the one from his finger. She looked at it and cried, "This is the one I lost." "Not so," he said. "Then it is the one in the world most like it." "So much the better. You may give it for the other." And, leaving her, he went with the damsel to his chamber, and laid upon his bed, and she upon another that was there. The king awoke, and asked the daughter for the ring. Then she gave him the same that she had had of the prince, which he put on, thinking it was his own. But presently he saw his own lying where Melicia had dropped it, and taking it up he compared it with the other, and which he then saw was the one which he had given to Elsena, and which she had told him, when she had inquired for it, had been lost. He demanded of the little girl to know how she had come by that ring, and she, who was much afraid of him, told him what had happened. Immediately he began to suspect the queen, that she had fallen into some dishonest liking of the young knight for his great worth and exceeding beauty, and he took his sword, and went into the queen's chamber, and fastened the door. "Madam," said he, "you have always denied to me the ring which I gave you, and the Child of the Sea has now given it to Melicia. How came he by it? If you tell me a lie, your head shall pay for it." "Ah, God, mercy!" quoth Elsena, and fell at his feet. "I will tell you what I have hitherto concealed. But now you suspect me." Then she told him of how she had exposed the infant, with whom the ring and the sword were placed, and then she lamented and beat her face. "Holy Mary!" cried the king, "I believe that this is our child." The queen stretched out her hands. "May it please God." With that they went into his chamber, where they found sleeping. But Elsena wept bitterly because of her husband's suspicion. The king took the child's sword which was at the bedhead, and looking at it he knew it well, as one wherewith he had given many and hard blows. And he said to Elsena, "By my God, I know the sword." Then Elsena took the child by the arm and wakened him, who awoke in wonder, and asked her why she wept. "Ah," said she, "whose son art thou?" "So help me God, I know not, for by great hap I was found in the sea." The queen fell at his feet, hearing him, and he cried, "My God, what is all this?" "My son," quoth he, see your parents." When the first joy had a little subsided, he remembered the writing, and took it from his bosom. Elsena saw it was what Daroleta had written. "Ah, my son," quoth she, "when I last saw this writing, I was in all trouble and anguish, and now I am in all happiness. Blessed be God." It were long to tell what joy Argives made and the lords of the realm at this discovery. The damsel of Denmark could no longer abide. "Sir Amadis," she said, "I will go carry these good tidings to my lady, for she must tarry to give joy and gladness to those eyes that have shed so many tears for your sake." "God have you in his keeping," replied Amadis. "I shall soon follow, and will come in arms like those I wore against King Abes, so ye shall know me." At this time would Argives also depart, for the damsel, when she brought him Galpano's helmet, came with a message from his mistress, Olinda, daughter of King Vagnum of Norway, desiring him with all convenient speed. He had won her love when he was at Galvans in that kingdom. Now Galvans was his uncle, and because he had only one poor castle into his heritage, they called him Lackland. "Cousin," said poor Argives, "I desire your company above all other things, but I must now go where my heart leads me." "Where shall I find you on my return?" "In the house of Luzart," said Amadis, "for there they tell me is chivalry more worthily maintained than in the house of any other king or emperor in the world. And I pray you commend me to your parents, for they as well as you may ever esteem me in their service for the education they gave me." This said, Argives took his leave of the queen, his aunt, and departed with his company. The king and Amadis conducted him through the city, As they were going out of the city gate, they met a damsel who took Perion's bridle and said to him, King Perion, remember what thou wert told, how when thou didst discover thy loss, the kingdom of Ireland should lose its flower. Now see if the damsel told thee true. For if thou hast found thy son who was lost, and that brave King Abies is slain, who is the flower of Ireland, and now I tell thee that never shall that country have his like, till the good brother of the lady shall come, who shall proudly and violently make tribute of other lands, be brought there, and he shall die by the hands of him who must perish for the thing in the world that he loves best. This was Marhaus of Ireland, brother to the queen, whom King Tristram de Lyons slew on the quarrel of tribute demand from the King Mark of Cornwall, and Tristram himself was slain afterwards because of Queen Isolda, who was the thing in the world he loved the best. This, said the damsel, my mistress Urganda sends me to tell thee. Then said Amadis, Damsel and my friend, say to her who sent you that the knight to whom she gave the lance whereof she spake, that lance I should deliver from death to the house from whence it sprung. For I saved it, for with it I saved the king my father. So the damsel returned, and Argives went his way. Then King Perion summoned a cortes, that all might see his son Amadis, and then there were great rejoicings, and pastimes made in honor of the Lord whom God had given them. And many things were done in that cortes, and many great gifts did the king bestow. And when Amadis heard how the giant had carried away his brother Gaelor, he demanded to seek him, and recover him by force of arms or otherwise. When the cortes was ended, he requested his father permission to go to Great Britain. Much did the king and queen labor to detain him, but it might not be by reason of love that he bare, which made him obedient to none but his lady. So he clad himself in armor like that which Abies had destroyed in the combat, and taking none with him but Gandalin, set forth. They proceeded till they came to the sea, then entered a vessel, and sailed to a goodly city in Britain, which is called Bristol. Here he learnt that King Lusart was at his town of Windsor, whither he shaped his course, but far he had not gone when he met a damsel who demanded of him if that were her ready way to Bristol, and if she could find shipping there for her speedy passage into Gaul. Whom seek you there? Said he. The good knight Amadis, who is the king's son, and has not long known his father. Greatly did Amadis marvel thereat, and he asked her from whom she had heard thereof. I know it, quoth she, from her to whom nothing is hidden, from Urganda the unknown, who now stands in such need of him, that by no other can she obtain what she desires. Thanks to God, replied Amadis, she who can assist all now requires me to assist her. Let us go, for I am the man ye seek. And he forsook his road and followed her.